What was supposed to be a normal content update introducing a few new features quickly became better known as the buggiest update Hypixel Skyblock had ever seen, with a seemingly endless supply of game-breaking bugs.
Ladies and gentlemen, a bug has revealed itself with some of the most important armor in the game.
Look at this drill! This drill is main server, dude! Look at this drill! This drill is absolutely goated!
There's a lot of issues with people leaving a dungeon and just having their stuff wiped for really no reason at all.
I just got wiped. I just got wiped. I just got wiped.
What?
I just got wiped.
How did this happen? On the 18th of August 2022, Hypixel Skyblock, the biggest MMORPG in Minecraft, received a seemingly ordinary update. It featured everything from exciting new content such as the Shen's auction area to quality of life additions like the Hex, making upgrading items much more user-friendly, and even a ton of different balance changes. Oh yeah, and they also made fishing really slow for some reason. But there's this one part of the update that went more or less unnoticed by the community: the backend changes. But Powliner, what does backend even mean? Is that the tennis move? No! Backend basically means server side, so the communication between your game and the Hypixel server, aka mucho importante. Now I'm not trying to sound like a smart man. After all, I barely know that 1 + 1 = 3. But while there was obviously positive intent behind these changes, these are the type of changes that can wreak absolute havoc if they aren't properly tested. And wreak havoc, they did.
There is a bit of divine armor on the auction house.
Oh, that's gonna throw it for the rest.
No, yeah, I'm wiped. I'm definitely wiped.
For what? 721 magic ride!
To say this update was buggy is a severe understatement. Dungeon players quickly noticed that the gear obtained from the reward chests at the end of the run was bugged to have a base stat boost, ranging from 1 to 50% extra stats in every single stat it provided. This didn't include the stats the gear pieces gained from additional modifiers, such as enchantments, hot potato books, and so on. But still, such a large stat boost to what was already the best gear in the game wasn't just unbalanced, it was completely insane. As such, 50% stat boosted items were incredibly expensive and desirable. Word on the street is that you get a 50% stat boost to your brain by clicking on the big red button below the video. Also this one. Don't forget this one or I will become angry. But this was just the beginning of the chaos. Because coding is hard, mage ability damage was bugged to inflict only about 1/8 of what it was supposed to. But this only happened inside dungeons. Somehow. How? No, seriously, how the fuck? What's even funnier is that one of the drill parts used to upgrade your drill didn't just give the intended bonus mining speed, but also 550 of every single stat in the game. Strength, magic find, pristine, you name it. Literally every single stat. For a very short time, drills became the solution to pretty much every problem. Wanna do a lot of damage? Drill. Wanna drop her items? Drill. Wanna get divorced? Just drill the marriage certificate. The speed on this thing's too high anyways, she'll never catch you. As you might expect, this bug was very quickly patched. Good. You know what wasn't patched though? The arguably more important dungeon item stat boost bug we talked about earlier. In fact, it took over 24 hours for it to get patched. But at least it was finally over. Or so everyone thought. I'm not sure how this is even possible, but while the bug was patched for some of the items, there was still a bunch for which it remained completely functional. There was seemingly no pattern to it either. This is pretty much the most random selection of items ever. It would take another 2 days for a follow-up response from the admin team, this time temporarily shutting down dungeons altogether, as well as removing the stat boosts from the bugged gear. Except they forgot about some of the items, but it's good enough. This was undoubtedly a good move. Even though it was unfortunate for people who invested in these items, Including me, I lost 400 million coins. Please send. These stat boosted items completely threw the balance of the game out the window. So they had to go.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
But what if I told you that this stat boost bug was only a minuscule threat compared to the absolute disaster that had been unfolding alongside it? The thing is, the 3 bugs we've gone over so far didn't actually take anything away from players. At most, they temporarily screwed up a playstyle or ruined some investments, but that's the nature of investing anyways. My point is that while it was a bit of a clown fiesta, no one lost anything unless they risked it themselves. This next set of bugs was different, however. Shortly after the update came out, players started reporting a bug that would completely wipe your inventory out of existence. The weird part is that they couldn't agree on what caused it. One player said it just happened when they left dungeons at the end of a run. Another mentioned it happening due to an item called a thunder bottle being in your inventory when dying, etc, etc. And while Hypixel forum users aren't exactly the pinnacle of trustworthiness or intelligence, it seemed pretty much impossible for there to be so many false reports. Especially since lots of people had video proof of it happening. And all of this could only mean one thing. There wasn't just a wipe bug, there were multiple wipe bugs.
That's insane. That's a bug.
Have any valuable items in slots 1, 4, or 6? Well, you might lose them whenever you die in dungeons, because the stupid useless ghost items replaced them. Died in the dungeon and left? I'm sorry sir, that's gonna be 1 inventory please. Left after the dungeon was already over? Uh-oh, it appears you have too many items in your inventory. Let me take care of that for you. That's not even it, but those were the most common ones. And you may notice a similarity between them. Pretty much all of them are related to dungeons. So, what do you do as the dev team when dungeons are completely bugged in every way imaginable and your loyal players are losing hundreds of hours of their work? Turns out, nothing at all. It took them 3 days to finally throw in the towel and close dungeons. Why not shut them down sooner? I don't get it. Forum user Chubu summed it up pretty well. It really felt like a sick game. But besides closing dungeons on the main server, they also opened up the alpha server. Now you might be thinking, Powliner, what's the alpha server? It sounds like a place to test bugs. Yes, correct dear viewer. And test bugs they did. And 4 days later they fixed everything and reopened dungeons. And then someone got wiped by the same bug again, so they closed them back down. It wasn't until another 7 days later the dungeons finally returned to its normal bug-free state. Well, not really bug-free, I mean there's still plenty of fun bugs.
That's a bug! That's a bug!
Like why would I want to solve some crazy button puzzle if I can just do this instead? It was free of the game-breaking wipe bugs though. After 2 whole weeks of the update being out. This was far from the end though. Did you know Minecraft was coded by a bunch of monkeys in a laboratory somewhere deep in Indochina? And it's very obvious it wasn't made to support custom user interfaces. Because pretty much every single one in Skyblock has caused a duplication glitch somewhere down the line. And this update brought a bunch of them back. Now I'm not really sure how exactly they worked, but you probably understand the concept of duplication. And their impact was quite large, because the bazaar, aka the main marketplace for players to buy and sell resources at, was disabled many times since the release of the update. But the bazaar being disabled is nothing new. The /visit command on the other hand? The profile swapping menu? The goddamn mining skill tree? In fact, brewing stands are still disabled. The only reason I could think of for these 4 getting disabled is because they all somehow involved a dupe. The thing is, this update was on the alpha server for nearly a month prior to getting released. But Powliner, doesn't it seem pretty much impossible for so many bugs to go unnoticed in a month of testing?
That's a bug! That is a bug!
Yes, but you see, the alpha server is a steaming pile of dog shit. Here's how the average player experiences it. They see a new update's out on alpha, they log on, play around with the new features for a bit, and that's all, folks. And why would they do anything else? Whatever progress you make on alpha won't carry over to the main server, and there is literally no reward for testing the new update. The reason for the abundance of dungeon bugs is because no one even bothered to enter a dungeon on alpha, because there's no point. In the past, there were funny little trophy items you got for logging into alpha releases, like a piece of French bread or a cool pickaxe. We don't even get that anymore. If you're gonna have players test bugs for you, then at least give them some motivation to do so. But honestly, as the biggest Minecraft server with tens of thousands of concurrent players, why don't you have a professional team of bug testers?
This guy's also chill. Look at him. I love these chill mobs. They're so... Oh, we just committed suicide.
I mean, for all I know, they could already have one. But if they do, then they're the most incompetent bug testers of all time. And after all this, after releasing a buggy mess of an update and failing to remedy it in a reasonable time, you'd at least expect them to be understanding and compensate the innocent players who lost their items due to bugs, right? No. I mean, sure, you're obviously not gonna go around believing everyone who said they got wiped. But even the people with video proof of it happening, such as PlayVolts and ZZZ Snow, got absolutely nothing but an automated reply to their bug report. Both of them were also in contact with admins in order to have their items restored. But nothing ever came of that. Although it shouldn't be the admin's job to do this. You see, the worst part of all of this is that Hypixel has a dedicated support team that's supposed to help solve these issues. But it's so notoriously useless that most players won't even bother making a support ticket to try and get their lost items back. There have even been cases of them not even checking the player's proof and denying the appeal altogether. This update was a complete catastrophe, and there were countless more bugs that I didn't even mention. It even featured the rarest bug in the world, the Volkswagen Beetle. Real talk though. I genuinely love Skyblock and how it's been getting tons of updates lately. It's more than obvious how much work the admins put into it. But please, utilize the alpha network more effectively. As it is now, it's more of a sneak peek network rather than anything else. Okay, bye!